Information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. It's a Friday. Not too much can go wrong with that, unless you have to work on Saturday, like some of us do. But hey, don't hold it against anybody, right, Jonathan Dent?
Not at all.
No, it's busy day Friday. We got all sorts of folks to talk to, so we'll get right to it. Probably one of the best reasons why we should get right to it is we're going to talk a little bit about the weather, which is definitely going to be a little bit more wintry-like. Officially, we're talking the we're talking the winter equinox, which is going to be coming up first part of next week. And our shortest day of the year is going to be next week. And a year ago today, we broke a record, 62 degrees, and we had 62 mile-an-hour winds.
Holy
a
moly.
Year ago today, with a half inch of rain. Obviously, we didn't have any snow. So, we've seen our windy days here this year, but quite honestly, nothing like what we saw last year, where we had 3 days in December with the wind gusts of more than 55 miles per hour. And one of the main reasons for that was we had warmer air, as witnessed by southwest wind, 62 degrees, and a little bit cooler water. So the dynamics of the upper air, that's what generated all of that real strong gusty winds. We're not getting that today. Our temperatures are definitely a lot cooler, maybe 35 degrees for a high. Where are we at right now, John?
Well, I was going to say it's windy today, but we only got winds out of the south at 15 with gusts up to 22. Not anywhere near where we were a year ago. Right now, out at the airport, they're at 33. Downtown Midland's reporting 34. And here at Radio Center, we're also at 34. So getting up to that projected high of around 35 today.
Yeah, not too much of a variance in the temperature today. Tonight, we're only going to drop down to about 28. But the consistent thing now with our weather is going to be the clouds. We're going to be looking at clouds not only today, tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, although we might have a little bit better chance of seeing some sun on Sunday, but then rolling back into Monday clouds, Tuesday clouds, Wednesday clouds, Thursday clouds. The next best chance of a measurable amount of snow for us here, Great Lakes Bay Area, is going to be Wednesday night into the day on Thursday. And some of the forecasters are indicating 2 to 4 inches is a possibility for us then. This weekend, well, right now it's snowing over on the west side of the state. Over the weekend, anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of snow is going to be piling up from, let's say, Muskegon, maybe a little bit north of Muskegon, down into the southwest corner of the lower peninsula. So if you're going to be traveling toward that part of the state, be advised you are going to run into snow. As far as the northwest corner, where usually we see the lake effect type activity, because it's a southwest wind, we're not going to see a lot of snowfall up in that part of the state, but they still are going to have some lake effect type activity. Blizzard warnings are up for the Dakotas. They'll continue for the next couple of days there. As far as chilly air, yep, you can tell our air is starting to get a lot cooler. 34 is our normal high. 23 is our normal low. So even though it's chillier than what we've been experiencing, we're still running a little bit above average on these temperatures. But you take a look at Santa Fe, New Mexico. It was 17 this morning. Denver, Colorado, it was 11. We're talking Dallas, Fort Worth, 39 this morning. Phoenix, Arizona, it's always 80 degrees, right? Nope, 44 this morning in Phoenix. So that kind of gives you an idea just how far west and south this cold air has been running. And the folks in northern sections of Florida, they're not experiencing anything like this, but they did have a lot of tornadic activity yesterday. That system has finally moved up the East Coast. It's not going to be a threat for us at all. And it does appear as though whatever freezing rain they do get out of that system should be gone, since the Lions are going to be playing the Jets in New York. It'll be a little bit more wintry-like, but I don't anticipate any Buffalo-like type weather for that football game on Sunday. So maybe we can push another win.
Maybe. By the time you get into December with the football season, you got to start to expect that, though.
Yeah, and especially Green Bay.
Yeah.
I would not want to be playing in Green Bay over the holidays here, because they are going to be looking at some really cold air there. What are we looking at? Well, we alluded to it, 35 for the day, 28 for a low tonight. Sun will set at 5:01, rise tomorrow morning at 8:04. Tomorrow, cloudy, spotty light snow around, especially along the Lake Michigan shore, 32 for a high, 26 for a low. Sunday, glimpses of sun, but still spotty snow around, more clouds than sun, 32 for a high, 22 for a low. The winds are going to move around a little bit more toward the west, or from the west and the northwest during the day on Sunday. So that's why the lake effect machine will continue to kick in the central west portions of the lower peninsula. But now they're going to begin to get more snow up in the Traverse City area, the northwest side, on Sunday. Monday, mostly cloudy, 32 for a high, 25 for a low. Tuesday and Wednesday, well, Tuesday, we're going to be 32 for a high, 10 for a low on Tuesday night. Wednesday, 20 for a high, 10 for a low. Snow machine will kick in. System will be moving toward us. Thursday, 22 for a high, and a real good chance of snow on Wednesday night and Thursday. The long range take us all the way through the 29th of the month. Much below normal on the temperatures starting next Tuesday, above average on the moisture. So this is going to be a real interesting holiday period. Not so much just for the travel, but a little bit of snow. So maybe some folks are going to have to do some shoveling, maybe.
Well, for those of us that are staying local for Christmas, it'll be a nice wintry scene.
Hey, we can handle it.
Yeah.
We can handle it. More on the weather. Oh, incidentally, we said the record high in this state was set a year ago at 62. The record low is 11 below.
Ooh.
And that was set in 1951. I was still a little too young to remember that, thank goodness.
That's one of those temperatures where you think, man, it can't get any colder. And then that kind of day comes through and yes, it can.
Yes, it can. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Gary Kaufman at Star of the West to kind of give us an idea what the markets are doing. But
before we get to that, our weather report today brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Mr. Farmer, a lot of you obviously keep your eye on sugar content when it comes to raising sugar beets. Well, Hilleshog has a couple different varieties that way back in September, the sugar content was at 20%, and some sugars near 22%. It's Hilleshog's 2361, and it offers it all. Total package, yield, high sugar, and the best root disease package that's available. 2361 is fully approved and ready for your farm. So talk to your agriculturalist or Hilleshog agent today about 2361 for 2023. That's how to make your farm generations strong with Hilleshog. We say good morning to Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Gary, I broke down. I bought my first Christmas gift.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go. It
Well,
gets contagious, you know.
It does in a way. It sure does. I've got to get busy on that this weekend.
I walked into the grocery store, and there was a great big box of Mr. Good bars.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I got a brother-in-law that loves them, so
okay, there you go.
I won't say which one because I don't want to ruin his Christmas, you know.
There you go. Yeah. We don't want to do that.
No. So. Well, are the guys in Chicago feeling good today?
Well, it's a mixed market. We've seen both sides of pluses and minuses, and we still got a couple minuses and one plus. But overall, the market's kind of getting in that pre-holiday mood, I guess. Volume's a little light. Ranges are a little narrower than we've seen in the past. But currently, Terry, we have actually cash wheat down 2 at 710 on the white, 660 on the red. New crop also down a couple at 749 on the white, 699 on the red. Cash corn currently down 3 at 593. New crop is down a penny at 542. Cash soybeans up 4 at 1402, and new crop actually down 2 at 1321.
My thoughts are that over the past week, corn really hasn't done too much. But soybeans and wheat have been all over the place. What's been going on?
Yeah, if we look at last Friday's closes, Terry, and we look at the current market where it stands here at the noon hour, actually wheat's up 21 cents this week. Had a tough week last week, so we got a little bit of that back. And actually corn is up 7. Again, it's been pretty choppy. It's been a choppy week, and soybeans, down 11 for the week, Terry. Even though we had that really good export sale, monstrous sale here earlier this week at 108 million bushels. But couldn't keep soybeans on the positive for the week. And part of the reason that is the monster crop coming out of Brazil. But even though Argentina's crop's going to be down, Brazil's expected to produce a record crop this year. And that harvest will probably start in 3 or 4 weeks here down in our southern hemisphere. But China COVID cases again surging, fears of a slowing economic growth there and demand slowing down there as well. And so that was some of the reasons, soybeans maybe were on the defensive end of it with even though they had a good export report this week. So
is Australia figuring in at all on our wheat market as of late?
We haven't heard too much, but we continue to watch. They got a record production, but they also have some quality issues down there. So haven't heard too much of that lately. But some of the uncertainty, as we see Russia continue to, light up Ukraine's infrastructure targets, and that's always a concern there. And so the market remains on edge there. So far, the other thing we're going to kind of watch, and you guys kind of alluded to this, is some of that cold weather coming into the southern plains. Potentially we could see some winter kill in some of those sub-zero temperatures heading that way next week. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that as well. So
I was told that in those areas that we're talking about right now, out in the Dakotas, they have not had the snow like some of the other areas that have more than 2 feet. So there's a strong possibility with those colder temperatures. There's some major wheat fields that don't have cover.
Yeah. No, it's something that could play in the market moving forward for sure. So
it sure could. You have a great weekend, Gary. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Terry. You as well.
All righty. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Standing by, Doug Klein.
Yep, we'll head on over to Oppenheimer and talk with Doug. Market Report today brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline. Are you ready to upgrade to a new Ram truck for your family farm? Now is the time to order your new Ram 1500, 2500, or 3500, so you should see the folks at Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, the Great Lakes Bay certified ag dealer. They specialize in all models of new Ram commercial trucks and vans, and ordering is the way to go. You can buy with confidence from Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth since 1852, where family and service sells cars. Also by Thumb Bank. They've been serving agriculture for over 125 years. They've got 2 locations in Bay City, also Cass City, Caseville, Pigeon, Bad Axe, and Marlette. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. Well, Doug Klein, how are things going today?
Well, crude oil's down $2.
Continuing its downward trend then.
Yeah, sort of like we mentioned yesterday, dead cat bounce. If we're in a recession, that's not going to come back anytime soon. And, well, we'll be getting cheaper gas when we won't have any money to pay for it because all our asset prices are going down too. Back-to-back negative weeks on the Dow. That's not too good. Santa Claus has failed to call. The bear has come to Broad and Wall. Yeah.
He's a poet and didn't know it.
I've been around a long time. I've heard them all, I think. But, oh my God. Yeah, so a lot of red across the board. The dollar's up a little bit, which that kind of makes sense. So here's your numbers. The March corn, 650 3/4, down 2 3/4. The September of 23 corn, 609 1/2, down 1 3/4. March soybeans, 1478 1/4, up 1 1/2. November of 23 soybeans, 1385, down 3 1/4. The March wheat is 753 1/4, down 4. And July of 23 wheat is 767 3/4, down 2 3/4. Crude oil 74.06, down $2.05. Heating oil is 308.65, down 12.8 cents. Gasoline is 212.32, down 4.5 cents. Natural gas 5.57, down 25 cents. Currencies: Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys 136.87 at the border. That's up 29 ticks. The dollar buys 136.59 yen. That's down 117 ticks. The euro's at 106.02, down 24 ticks. The dollar's at 104.72, up 16.5 ticks. Gold's at 17.90.90, up 13.70. Silver's 23.12, down 3 cents. Platinum's at 9.99.70. That's down 13.50.
All righty. Have a good one.
Okay, we'll try. You too.
Yep. Talk to you on Monday. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. We're going to take a quick break. Eric Sawatsky will be joining us along with Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. And we'll wrap up the show with Chuck Cervinsky over at Maple Hill. All of that, but first this.
Whether your family farm has been passed down through generations or you're just getting started, knowledge and partnership fuel constant growth along the way. As the legacy of your farm strengthens, shared values and a never-ending commitment remain. ACH Seeds is proud to work with you to sustain your continued growth. This partnership, driven by a shared passion that never stops growing, is refined over time and cultivated in common ground.
This is your ACH Seeds representative, Jeff Karst. Our 2023 lineup is better than ever. Crystal Beet seed varieties offer a full spectrum of defensive traits combined with top-performing yield and sugar potential. And speaking of defense, ask me about the proven performance of our CR Plus varieties. This enhanced level of Sarcospora leaf spot tolerance provides confidence of good disease control with fewer trips across the field. I look forward to hearing from you and working toward continued success. Thanks again for partnering with ACH Seeds.
Along with me right now, we've got Eric Sawatsky with Yo and Yo Accounting. And Eric, I was just reminded that it's the winter solstice and not the winter equinox. There's nothing equal about daytime and nighttime this time of the year. My gosh, it's like dark at 4:45 or 4:30. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy time of year.
Boy, it sure is. Speaking of that, the last couple of weeks of the year are always crazy when it comes to your business with all the things going on. And of course, we're reminded also that there are a lot of organizations, charitable organizations that are looking for donations. Let's talk a little bit about charities and tax returns and that sort of thing.
Yeah, Terry, I wanted to point out that there are changes this year compared to the last couple of years with your charitable giving and the tax deduction. In the past, we always had, when you give money to a charity, you potentially could deduct that as part of your itemized deductions. We've seen a lot of people lose that opportunity the last several years as the standard deduction was double. So many times that was more than all of their itemized deductions combined. So the last couple of years during COVID, a few of the bills that were passed, Congress allowed for an additional charitable deduction. So if you were giving to any charitable organization, you could get a $600 deduction, whether you itemized or not, even if you just used that standard deduction on your return. That was in place the last couple of years. That is completely gone for 2022. So you're not going to get that additional deduction. And if you can't itemize, you really are not going to see a tax deduction for your charitable giving. So some of the old strategies are probably still in place. Some people will get the timing of those charitable deductions and group them into a one calendar year, so it's more, and maybe they can take advantage of that. So if you're thinking about that, writing that check near year end, think about whether it would make sense to maybe push it to January 1st to get it into the next year, and whether lumping 2 years worth of deductions in one could get you to that point where you can deduct it for tax purposes.
Good advice. All right, Eric, you take care. Have a great day. Have a chance to talk to you next week.
Yes.
Great.
On Monday we should be on.
Fantastic. We'll talk to you then. Have a good weekend.
Great.
Eric Swatsky over at Yo and Yo. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency, talking about tax returns, deductions, all of those things. And I think it was on Wednesday, Craig, we were talking about things like jewelry and that sort of stuff that folks should be aware of when it comes to insuring. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Right, Terry. Jewelry stores are a popular place right now with Christmas just around the corner. And if you're one of those folks buying something sparkly for underneath the tree, it's a good idea to get in touch with your insurance agent. The jewelry is covered under your home or farm policy while it's at the house, but it has a small limit on it. And then once that piece is out and being worn, if a stone comes loose or something like that, you're going to want different coverage on it to cover those kind of things. And you also get typically a lower deductible if you list the jewelry separate and put it on the policy outside of the house. So it's a good idea, especially if you're getting some of that more expensive stuff, to get in touch with your agent and have an appraisal done, or the appraisal that comes with the purchase handy also.
Yeah, especially if you're going to wear it.
Exactly.
Wow.
And if you've got older jewelry that you haven't had appraised recently, probably a good idea to get that updated too.
Yeah, no kidding. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you next week, Craig.
All right. Thanks, Terry.
You bet. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. Joining me right now, Chuck Cervinsky over at Maple Hill Nursery. Chuck, let's talk about some seasonal things like poinsettia plants, or is it poinsettia?
Well, it can be said either way. Most people say poinsettia, but they're known for their beautiful red foliage during the Christmas season, and with proper care, they can be enjoyed well beyond the Christmas season. A couple of quick tips. You're going to want to place a poinsettia near a sunny window. They really like indirect filtered sunlight for about 6 hours a day. They like a daytime temperature of about 70 degrees and no cooler than about 60 at night. As far as watering goes, you're going to want to water it when the soil feels dry to the touch. Don't just water it every day. You're going to water it thoroughly, and don't allow it to set in water. So if you got a saucer under it, dump it out so it's not sitting in water. Yellow leaves appearing on it can be a sign of too much or too little water because they're kind of temperamental. It's not really necessary to fertilize it during the holidays. But after it's done flowering, after the holidays, it goes into what we call active leaf growth. And that usually starts around March. And at that time, you can fertilize it with a 20/20 liquid fertilizer, or you can give it a handful of Flower Dew 201 potting soil from Morgan Composting to give it a little jump start and get ready for the next year with it.
Yeah, I noticed that Morgan does have products for indoor plants.
Definitely. That Flower Dew 201, it can be used indoor or outdoor, and it's got a little dairy dew in it, so it gives them a little kick, and it really works well.
Yeah, it does. Have a nice weekend. Oh, incidentally, you've got a sale going on right now, don't you?
We sure do. We've got our annual floor model sale on all of our polywood and alfresco home floor samples. We've got deep seating and dining sets as well, and that's going to go on until next Thursday.
All right. Chuck, take care. We'll talk to you again.
Okay.
All righty. We'll be right back.
December is BX Days subcompact sales event at Lingle Equipment. Hi, this is Kim Weiss, and all our BX 1880s, 2380s, 2680s, and the BX 23 TLB tractor loader backhoe are on sale at Lingle Equipment in December. We have loaders, mowers, and snow blowers. Also have many land pride attachments like tillers, rear blades, and grading scrapers. We have the attachment to get the job done right the first time. We have 0% interest for 60 months on approved credit. So stop in now at Lingle Equipment, 3001 West Sawyer Drive in Saginaw. That is right along I-75 off the Washington Road exit. Or give me a call at 989-754-7801. Get a pen and I will say it again, 989-754-7801. Or send me an email at k.weiss@lingle1.com.
We'll be back at 12:30 with an update, so you stick around for that. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.